Biden has spent this week huddling with aides at Camp David in Maryland, preparing for the first presidential debate tomorrow night in Atlanta. Meanwhile, former President Trump is taking a less formal approach. We want to talk about each campaign and how they're preparing. Fox 5's Tom Fitzgerald is live on Freedom Plaza tonight. So, Fitz, what is each campaign doing?
Shamari, good afternoon. You know, from what we've heard, it's really a contrast in two different candidates and two different styles. You know, for example, all this week, President Joe Biden has really been literally and figuratively huddled up at Camp David near Thurmont, Maryland. There is a team of about a dozen advisors that are around him, including the former White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain, the current National Security Advisor, and they are just running through mock debates. You know, there is a small area that many presidents have used at Camp David to prepare for these kinds of debates. President Obama was known to do that as well. Now, on the Trump team's side, it's not as well known exactly how Donald Trump is getting ready for these debates. We've heard from the Trump campaign, you know, the former president is preparing. Unlike President Biden, Trump has been out. He appeared here in Washington last Saturday, and he held a rally in Philadelphia over the weekend. So he has been more public as he's been leading up to Thursday's debate. You know, one of the things Trump has been doing, which is interesting because, you know, he's known for kind of knocking his opponents throughout his political career. Donald Trump, when asked about this, has actually been saying he expects Joe Biden to do a good job, which is kind of interesting because, you know, while a lot of people have raised questions about what this is going to be for Joe Biden, Donald Trump is the one who has come out and said that, you know, he expects the president to do a good job. So we'll have to see how it turns out.
Yeah, the debate will certainly look at their mental fitness. Right now, presidential debates are usually held in the fall, but how unusual is the timing of this one?
Shamari, this is very unusual. You know, we're here at the end of June. Keep in mind, Shamari, neither one of these candidates, either the president of the United States or the former president of the United States, are actually their party's nominees. The Republicans don't hold their nominating convention until next month in Milwaukee in July. The Democrats don't meet until August in Chicago. So this is really early, Shamari. A lot of these things are usually held in late September, October, as people are getting ready to go to the polls. We're way ahead of schedule here.
And I'm sure undecided voters will also be looking at this before they make their decision come November. Since it's the first time we've had a debate this early, are there any pros and cons for the candidates?
Yeah, there probably are, Shamar. And, you know, if you think about it, if you're doing a debate this early in the cycle, and remember, there are still 131 days until Election Day in November. Well, if you have a good night, you can probably make a lot of hay out of that, put that into commercials, publicize that, get that on social media. If you have a bad night, well, you know, then you've got at least 3 months to maybe bounce back from that. So there's really two ways of looking at this right now for the candidates, whether or not Thursday goes well or perhaps doesn't go as well.
Yes, all eyes will be on the debate, questioning their mental fitness, their age, their mental sharpness. Thanks a lot, Tom.